Starting a business is difficult, but keeping one going is even harder. 90% of startup businesses fail within the first week. Welcome to week 2 of my 3D printing business. Since last week, a ton of stuff has happened. I got a ton of emails about custom design requests. As well, many people from my last video went on to Makerworld and Cults to view my designs. We gained 8 downloads, 1K views, and 6 followers. Last week, we didn't make any money, but I have a feeling this week will be a lot different. This business will make me money 3 main ways. 1. Custom design requests. People will tell me the ideas they want me to bring to life, and I'll make their vision a reality. 2. People will continue to buy and download the custom designs I've made in the past. 3. I'll make listings on Facebook Marketplace where people in my area can get me to print them something, and I'll deliver it to them. The plan for this week to generate as many clients and sales as possible is to post 3 shorts, each advertising a different service I offer. Each video will have a high chance to go viral, which will generate me traffic and eyes on my services. Last week, when I created a Facebook account to advertise to all the middle-aged moms, I was denied access. I guess you have to be over the age of 45 to be allowed on this app. So I got my mom to help me get past their top-notch security. Once I had my account all set up, I made a couple listings on Facebook Marketplace, basically just telling people about my services. I also uploaded some of the shorts I made in the past to make the account seem more legit. The next problem I'm going to tackle is my computer. I'm starting to do higher quality 3D models and more video editing, which is really straining my old school computer. I've always wanted to have a PC, but I've never been able to afford one. Since I've been putting in the hours at Fresco, I finally have the funds. I sent my friend a text, and within 20 minutes, he told me all the parts I needed to buy. I placed an order on Amazon and Canada Computers. All the parts should be here in around 4 days. Now it's time to tackle some of the emails I received. The first email is from a guy who wants me to create him a dirt bike called the Suron D. It seemed complicated, but he attached a link to a pre-existing bike similar to the one he wants. I decided I would print the example bike to have a better idea of how I would go about designing it. I figured I could use this opportunity to create a short of me assembling the bike. The parts printed and I got to assembly. It ended up taking me almost 2 hours to assemble the bike. I then turned all the clips into a short, which I scheduled to go live the next morning. After printing the bike, I realized just how complex making something like this really is. And after a little bit of back and forth with the guy, I landed on $100 to create all the parts for it. I later learned he plans on scaling up my model to create a life-size version of the bike. Just like that, I had secured my first client. I was extremely excited to get to work on it, but unfortunately, I had to go to work that night. So I'll start in the morning. I woke up this morning with an email waiting for me. This one was from an indoor golf simulator. They wanted me to design a way for their bag holders to go up and down. They said they would pay me $25 an hour. I know I was planning on working on the dirt bike this morning, but this offer seemed to have a lot more value and seemed to be a lot more simple. I went to Canadian Tire to pick up the exact bag holder from his email so I could make my design as accurate as possible. When I got home, I got straight to work. I took a bunch of measurements of all the different parts to make my design as solid as possible. After 3 hours of design, I had an end product I was happy with. But before I sent it off, I wanted to print the parts myself to test to make sure everything worked properly. I printed out all the parts and grabbed my golf clubs. The parts fit together perfectly. I drilled the main part into the wall and inserted the slider mechanism. It worked great. It held up my golf clubs without any trouble. So I sent the files off along with the hours it took me. And within a couple of minutes, I received a $75 e-transfer. I was super happy. This is my first successful transaction of the business. I posted the designs to Makerworld and Cults so other people could print one of these. Today, I again woke up to another email waiting for me. This one was from a construction worker located in the UK. In the email, he explained the problem him and his coworkers have with the gas cartridges for their nail guns. Basically, in the winter, the cartridges get too cold and stop working, which heavily restricts the amount of work they are able to get done. He wants me to create a way to keep the gas cartridges warm while they are not in use. So when he needs them, they're nice and warm and ready to be used. He sent me the type of gas cartridges they use at his company. And after a little bit of Googling, I found the dimensions of the product. I also started to look for an electronic heating pad and a battery and some other electronics that would make everything work. I ended up finding all the parts I need on AliExpress. The parts came out to be $31 in total. I also ordered some PETG film, which is basically just a stronger and more durable version of PLA. I ordered all the parts and got to work on a rough design based on the measurements I found online. I got a decent design going before I had to stop to wait for all the parts to come in. I still had some time left in the day, so I got to work on my second short. I found this cool Oreo clicker that I thought had a good chance to go viral. So I printed out all the parts and recorded myself assembling and using it. After a little bit of editing, the second video was all finished. I scheduled it to be posted the next morning. It's been a couple of days since I received the email from the dirt bike guy. When I first got this opportunity, I was super excited. But I've been working on the project in the background, and honestly, this project is super difficult. I believe I could complete it, but I'll have to learn a bunch of new design techniques, and it'll realistically take me a couple of weeks. There's definitely better uses of my time. I'm going to email the guy to explain this to him. Maybe in the future, I'll make a dedicated video to me tackling this project. But for now, I want to keep a good reputation and be completely transparent. I received another email today. This one from someone who wanted me to print him a dishwasher cabinet organizer. He said he would pay me $20 in shipping and filament. This was a no-brainer to accept, since the print was super simple and required no assembly at all. The print took 5 hours. I got a box and packaged everything up. I dropped it off at the post office and he sent me the $35. I got an email around an hour later from this brand called Super Z, which is an up-and-coming business that specializes in 3D printed footwear. He contacted me interested in my design work. He wanted me to be in charge of all the design work, and he would be in charge of printing, shipping, and handling the product. He offered a 65-35 split of profits. I thought this was a great opportunity. I'd never designed something like a shoe before, but I was super eager to learn. I didn't want to get scammed out of my time, so I told him I would need a $150 down payment, so I knew he was legit and committed. He seemed hesitant to pay the money. I'll let you know if we get a response. Today, I came to an agreement with the 3D printed slide guy. He said he'd pay me a $100 down payment instead of the $150. I was fine with this.
How you are, you just have to say that you're fine. You're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because
This wasn't about the money. It was more for him to show me that he was fully committed. I was honestly super excited to make the shoe, so I'm glad he accepted my offer. I first spent some time watching other people design shoes in the CAD software Onshape. These videos were extremely helpful. I learned a lot of new techniques and gained a lot of good insight. It was time for me to start on my first attempt, and let's just say it did not go that good. I spent the rest of the day trying a bunch of different techniques. The main issue I was finding was sizing. Every shoe has extremely precise measurements to maximize comfort, fit, and appearance. I'm not an expert in the shoe industry, so I was going through a lot of learning. I ended up with 10 different design iterations, each getting closer and closer to what I wanted, but still I wasn't happy with it. I wanted to make this project high quality, so I'll be making a second video where I go in depth on me making the slide, so I don't have to rush. This morning, I woke up and got onto my computer and saw that my PC parts were ready for pickup. I went to the store to pick up my part and picked up my friend who knows how to assemble everything on the way home. When we got back to my house, I laid everything out on my bed and we got to work. It took around 2 hours of non-stop work and only 3 cooling fan casualties before I had my PC all finished. This is an essential part of the 3D printing business because it'll allow my workflow and quality of my work to increase. The PC was around $1,000, so nothing too crazy, but certainly a huge upgrade. I made room for it under my desk and got everything nice and organized. Now it's time to make my third short form video. The first thing I did was look online for cool things I can make the videos of. I found this card shuffler and realized I already printed one in the past. I grabbed it and disassembled it so I could record myself putting the parts together. 50 screws and an hour of editing later, I had my third short finished. After I posted the video, I got yet another email of someone interested in the design skills. After a little bit of back and forth, we set up a Discord call for the next month so he could explain to me exactly what he wanted me to do next. Today, I got out of bed at 7:59 to get on the call for 8. The guy ended up ghosting me, which was fine because I was running out of time in the week. My package from AliExpress had arrived, so I could finally finish up the gas tank heater. I took all the parts out of the packaging and wrote down all the measurements I needed. I went onto my computer to finalize the design. I spent a lot of time making sure everything would fit together perfectly. I eventually had a finished design I was happy with. I unpackaged my PETG filament I ordered earlier and loaded it into my printer. 9 hours later, I had the final design in my hands. Now, it was time to test to see if it worked. For some reason, I could not get the electricity to work, so I asked my dad if he could help me out. He ended up making everything work perfectly. He did suggest that I add a layer of insulation so the heat doesn't just dissipate as soon as I turn the heater on. I also noticed another slight issue in my design. The heating pad I ordered gets up to temperatures of 250 degrees Celsius, which I didn't realize when I first bought it. I did a bit of research, and the gas canisters the guy sent me can only withstand heats of 50 degrees Celsius, or else they're considered dangerous. This meant my design was pretty much useless. I had to order a whole new heating pad, which would cause me to rework my whole design. I found one on Amazon for $10 that heats at the temperatures of 45 degrees Celsius, which is perfect for what I need. I ordered the part. It's supposed to be here in a couple days. Looks like it's gonna be a little bit longer than a week. 5 days later, the parts finally showed up. I made a couple of slight adjustments to accommodate the new parts and sent the print to my printer. I went to my friend's house for the day and came back to a perfect print. I took it off and put all the electronics inside. I grabbed some spray foam to insulate it. I printed a lid and a couple of covers to conceal all the electronics and give it a clean look. I ran a couple different tests to see how it performed. It worked well, but I had so many ideas on how I can improve the design. I really wanted to try to get this product out to him. But shipping is a lot of money, and it's not worth sending him something that I'm not 100% happy with. Creating a high-quality product doesn't happen overnight. It's a process with many prototypes and many different design iterations. I'm going to continue work on this project in the next video. All of a sudden, the second week of my 3D printing business has come to an end. In total, we received emails from 5 people for custom design requests. 3 of them turned into successful clients, and 1 of them turned into a long-time business partner. We also got emails from 2 people who wanted me to print them something, and 1 of them turned into a successful transaction. 12 more people downloaded my designs, and almost 2,000 people viewed them. We also gained 12 followers on MakerWorld. We created 3 shorts that generated 50K views across platforms. In total, we made $250 in profit this week. This video was a lot more successful than the last one. If you want to support the business and you're interested in custom designs, feel free to email me in the description. If not, you can check out the designs on my MakerWorld and cards, or you can just subscribe, which helps me a lot.